Disclaimer: this review contains spoilers for the game's story. All credit goes to the creators of the game. I am simply reviewing the game and nothing should be taken too seriously. Please enjoy the review and thanks for watching. My Hero One's Justice Review by WolfDog107. Hello everyone, this is WolfDog107 here, and today this is my Hero Academia My Hero One's Justice review. It's a 3D arena fighter game, and it's a really fun one at that. You got some really cool characters that have their own personalities in the game, and different ways to maneuver throughout the map. And you even get some really cool special moves that you can perform for each character. And you get a total of like 20 to 25 characters. I don't remember the exact number. But you even get some cool stages as well, and they all seem very, well, unique. And they don't seem like any of them is a clone of the other. That goes for both characters and stages. However, the loading screens in this game do need some work as they take a little bit to load. And I wish that they were a lot faster and they didn't take up so much time. As for the gameplay, let's see. So, here in this clip I'm going against Yorozu. I don't remember how her name's pronounced. Yorozu, or Momo, as I like to call her. But I'm playing as Ochako, going against Momo. And as you can see by the combat, it's really fun, entertaining, and it has really cool elements to it, such as the bright colors, the comic book themes, and like the general word bubbles, or the word texts popping up in comic book form, like words like float, bam, whash, smash, and stuff like that. And as you're playing the game, you'll keep noticing those pop up, making it feel like it's a really cool comic book type hero game. And you really feel like you're in this world of heroes, in the world of My Hero Academia. And you really feel like you're playing as these characters, fighting alongside them. And it makes it feel like it's a really great game and a really great experience. And the combat really feels fun. However, I do have to say, which you'll see in some later sections, that there are renout stages. And what renout stages are, basically, if you go out of bounds, you lose a point. Or your opponent gets the point instead of you getting a point if you go out of bounds. However, if your opponent goes out of bounds, then you get the point of that round. That's what arena stage is in this game. And there are also sidekicks in this game. Basically, you get one or two sidekicks, and each sidekick will have like just one trigger button. One will control L2 and one will control R2. LB and RB if you're on Xbox, or ZL and ZR if you're on Nintendo Switch. And whatever it may be on PC. But yeah, basically you'll be playing as whichever character you want, and you can have whatever sidekick you want. Or if you don't like sidekicks at all, you can disable that feature completely if you're trying to just do a regular local match, just a regular 1v1, and not having to worry about sidekicks coming in and ruining everything. If you don't want sidekicks, you can just disable that. That doesn't matter. You can just go ahead and disable it if you want. You're just fine being able to do that. However, I do think that sidekicks can add more fun to the game, as they can perform some really cool moves sometimes. And in the general gameplay that you're seeing here, you can see that you can fight on the walls as well as in the air as well. And you can even land your opponents inside the wall. And sometimes you can even get stuck in the ground as well. And basically, The arena system, as I mentioned earlier, is a little complicated because if you're trying to fight in the air and you want to stay in the air, it's going to be a little bit difficult because the controls for that are, they're easy to maneuver. It's just that sometimes they don't go the way you want them to, and when you're trying to press X to do a double jump at least once or twice or whatever in the air, and then you land more hits so you can do it again, sometimes it won't work that way and you'll just be stuck having to dash towards your opponent in order to move closer to them until you reach back onto the platform of the level. But sometimes you'll have to just give up and let yourself get arena, because sometimes you'll have no choice, which kinda sucks, but it is what it is. I wish that they could have improved on the air combat and made it where you wouldn't have to worry about falling to the ground too fast and getting an arena that easily. I feel like that they could have improved on that. And now for the battle type settings, you can do 1v2, or no, 1 player versus 2 player, or one player 2 versus CPU, player 1 versus CPU, stuff like that. But there's no CPU versus CPU, sadly. I wish they had that. Some fighting games out there too, but most of them that I play nowadays don't have that feature, and it makes me really disappointed that they don't have a CPU versus CPU, because sometimes you just want to watch a match. You don't want to always keep playing. You want to watch something sometimes, you know? But you can also disable and enable sidekick features. You can also set the time limit, how many rounds there are, stuff like that. And when it comes to the character roster, I think it is pretty good. You got characters like Dabi, the Hero Killer Stain, Asui, my boy Shoto Todoroki, Kaminari, Ochako, Momo, Gran Torino, Mr. Aizawa, All Might, Deku obviously, Bakugo obviously, Kirishima, Jiro, one of my go-to characters in the game. And you can even play as All For One if you unlock him after you beat the hero story in the game. Now, the story mode, I would have stuff to show you for that, but sadly I couldn't because PlayStation doesn't like people recording gameplay of the story mode for some reason, so couldn't do that. But what I can say is that I played through a fair amount of story mode. It is interesting, it's just that one problem. If you're a new My Hero Academia fan, but you first came to the series through the game, that's not really good because the game's story mode takes place in the middle of the show. Yes, you heard me right. My Hero One's Justice story takes place in the middle of the anime. And that's a big fat problem, isn't it? You're not going to have any idea what the hell's going on. All you're just going to be told is, this is what's currently going on, this is what we have to do. Sure, you can get some backstory elements, but it doesn't really form the story up nicely to tell the player, hey, this is what's happened, this is what's currently happened, this is what we need to achieve. It doesn't really do that too well, and I feel like that they could have done the story mode a little bit better. And I'll get to that later. Now, here's where we get to the customization features of the game. Character customization, and then later on, character profile customization. When it comes to character customization, you get preset options, not full-blown customization options where you can customize their hair color and whatnot. That's not the case, sadly. It'll be nice, but that's not the case. But what we have here is pretty cool. What you get is different preset options that are pretty simple and basic that you'd expect for them to come up with. And Here, for an example, I'm customizing Deku in this clip, and you can see that he has different outfits, such as his school uniform, and different color tones and whatnot. Same thing for his hero outfit. And basically you also get like his Deku ears that he has for his outfit. You also get like different like pieces like masks, scarves, and glasses and whatnot that you can give to the character for customization features. And if you don't have a piece unlocked, you can buy them with coins. And your coin amount is displayed in the bottom middle of the screen under all the details for each item that you highlight. And it can tell you how to unlock the item, whether doing a specific requirement in the story mode or mission mode or whatever, or sometimes items will be only available to purchase. It's making for a bit of a grind for coins, although it's not too much. You do get a fairly good amount of coins each time you complete a match, or a mission, or whatever it may be. So I feel like the character customization is pretty cool. Plus you can come up with some funny shit, such as Otaka wearing the Hero Killer Stain's mask. It just looks so funny. Even when you do her ultimate, she's still wearing it and it looks like she's all angry and shit. It's so funny. You can also have Seiro's tape dispensers, which are pretty cool. But sadly, he isn't in the game. I wish he was, because he would make for a pretty cool character to play as. But you can even have Spinner's Sword, which he ain't in the game. Again, some characters aren't in the game, which is disappointing. But there is room to improve on that later on if they decide to continue with the game. But as of now, they've only had like 6 DLC packs. 3 missions, 2 characters, and then 1 character variant. And by character variant, I mean Deku's shoot style. Yeah. They could have just made a regular variant, but they made it a separate character on the roster. Now, when it comes to mission mode, which you're now seeing, you can make a team up to 3 characters. One of them would be the character you'll be playing as, and then the other 2 would be your sidekicks. And you get 3, for the first mission map, you get 3 missions to go through. And what the mission maps are basically different sections filled with levels. Basically different levels that have their own levels. Pretty simple as that. And you can go through each mission, getting different requirements done, and getting different rewards. Pretty simple stuff. So if you like that kind of stuff, it's here in this game. And here's Bakugo's Plus Ultra, one of my favorites to this day. I mean, dude, look at this. He just goes in with the maneuver skills, and then he performs one last hit on Deku, instantly KOing him. That's awesome, baby. 34 hit combo. That's how we do a hero move. Oh my god. Honestly, that was like one of the coolest things I've ever seen in this game. That's how fun this game is. Like, once you get that like final hit of a Plus Ultra, you feel amazing. Like, this game feels really fun to play. The controls are nice and whatnot. And honestly, it looks really good too. And when it comes to completing mission mode, you're also presented with a pretty cool artwork piece, such as I was here for the tutorial. This looks pretty freaking cool. And then you're shown how well you did and what rating you got. And then you're shown what rewards you got and stuff like that. And then in mission mode, there's 7 missions. Map 1 being tutorial, map 2 origin, map 3 hero, map 4 villain, Map 5, Stain. Map 6, Encounter. And then Map 7 being Score Attack. And then, pretty much, you get a really good content's worth in this game, I feel. Now, here's where it does drop the score a little bit though. In the arcade mode, basically, how do I put this? It's an arcade mode. It's just an arcade ladder where you're just going through 6 different enemies at random, whoever they could be. It's always going to be random, no matter how many times you choose the same character over and over. Sometimes you could see the same character again, but that's only like one arcade ladder. You'd have to start up another arcade ladder in order to fight them again, obviously. That's how it is in most games like this. But yeah, the arcade mode is pretty good, but it's too basic. Just too basic and too short. I feel like I probably could have done without it, but at the same time, it is nice that they have an arcade mode in this game. And the basically in arcade mode, you go through 6 different battles, random enemies. Here I was presented with the hero killer Stain versus me playing as Jiro. And you might have noticed that hero killer Stain's sidekick for his R2 button is the Nomu. However, Nomu is not a playable character in this game. He just makes an appearance that way as an opponent. And it's kind of disappointing considering that he's not even a DLC character as of this recording. So I wish that he would have been a playable character. I wish Nomu would have been a playable character, because that would have been fun. But I understand why he's not, considering he's basically got All Might's DNA, kind of. Like, he's got like All Might's strength and speed. And it makes sense why Nomu's not in the game. I kind of wish he was in some ways. But here in the arcade mode, once you finish your mission, or whichever match you're on, you're presented with a little cutscene that has a still image in the background, and then still comic book portraits of 2 different characters. And they're talking to each other with voice acting, and then you read subtitles, obviously. That's what the story mode is as well. And in the story mode, that's all it is, really. Just still images talking to each other with voice acting and subtitles. Meanwhile, here in the profile customization, which we'll get to the story mode a little bit later. Basically, in profile customization, you can customize your very own profile, your very own player profile. And you'll notice that where it shows your online ID, your rank, and your emblem. As well as like whatever model you have. It'll show a portrait as well as a background calling card. And I think this is a really cool feature to be able to customize your profile like other games. But it's pretty much a basic thing, but you get some pretty cool options. And you can customize the profile symbol, profile border, the emblem, or even the comment. And I found it to be a really cool feature. And as for the story mode, it's pretty much just character portraits in comic book form, talking to each other, subtitles, and voice acting. That's pretty much what the story mode is. And it only has like a few like CGI cutscenes rendered in the in-game engine. Yeah, it wasn't much of the story mode, to be honest. And here in the online mode, you get the menu, which has the unranked match, ranked match, create a room, search, and rankings. And then the simple settings menu has main, custom presets, sidekicks, stage, and control mode. what you can do for simple settings is basically swap those different things out, as well as like your sidekicks. When I was like going through this, I searched for a match one time, and obviously I just got an error. But then I tried it again, and then I found a match right away. It's pretty good online mode. From what I played with other players, I did lose like 3 times, but one time I won, which this match right here I won. But yeah, the online was very stable, although I did notice a tiny little bit of lag at Todoroki's character intro. Not sure which Todoroki, because we're both playing as Todoroki in this one. But before we continue, quick shout out to those were in the appearance of this review, like in these recordings, because I was doing these online matches, and they just had me there to be online, to fight me, so I could test the online, get the recording to finish the review. So shout out to these people that appear in the video. So basically, that's how the online mode went. It was just pretty stable. You did notice a little bit of lag at that character intro, but after that, things were pretty smooth. And honestly, I had a good time, even though I lost most of the matches. I still had a good time. The online was very stable. It never felt like I was being cheated on by the game itself. It never felt like anything was unfair. It always felt like everything was smooth, and there wasn't really any problems. The online went very well. Easily a really great online mode. And yeah, but I did lose most of the matches. This was the only match I had won. But yeah, shout out to the different people that come up in the online. And look at this Plus Ultra by Todoroki. It's really good. Like, honestly, look at that. And like, when it comes to the gameplay, it's obviously really fun. And I like how each character had their own personality mixed into it. Like, for example, Froppy, aka Sue, I like how she was able to, like, when she runs or just moves around regularly, she'll hop around like a frog. And I like that. I like that detail to it. And when you have Asui as a sidekick, not only does she not only is she just as a sidekick, but like her move basically has a where she'll spit her tongue out and grab you with her tongue to pull you out of a bad situation that you might be in, so you can get a better advantage on your opponent and save yourself. It's a really good way to mix things up, and I thought that was a really cool idea. And if you win an online match, you also obviously get some rewards out of it. And here I searched up for another opponent, and basically I lost these last couple rounds or matches, but yeah. So the story, the arcade mode, and whatnot could have been improved on a little bit. Some of the stuff that I've mentioned, such as the renout system, as well as the, well, how about I just show you? I'm gonna get a different clip in here real quick. So, in this clip, you'll notice the renout system for one of the stages. It's a pretty good stage, except that the renout system cannot be disabled in these stages that it's in, and it frustrates me so fucking much. Like, honestly, the renout system sucks. And you know why? Because, let's say you're trying to do a match. Look at this clip. Watch. I'm trying to go in on my opponent, but I didn't realize that Aizawa's move was where he would go in like that, downward, spinning on his opponent with his feet. And then I got a renout. That's how frustrating the fucking thing is. You can't even finish a match because of it. It happens so constantly, and it makes those stages specifically not really fun to play on. And it depends on how big that stage is, on whether you can just deal with the renouts or not. And sometimes you'll just end a match within like 40 seconds, and it'll just be because of the renouts. You'll end up losing a lot too because of these renouts, making it a really unfun and unfair experience, and a really frustrating experience mainly. But another way that you can't really handle the another reason why I don't like the renout system is because it's also combined with the air combat, where if you're in air combat and you want to stay fighting in the air, you gotta make sure you don't drop, and it's really difficult to not drop to the ground, because you always have to make sure you keep pressing the X button each time you land a hit, so you can stay in the air once you finish a combo. But then you also gotta use dashing as well if you want to stay in the air. But you can do one of the two, but it's best to do both sometimes if you're getting really low to the ground. But if you're too late and you don't perform a dash or a jump at the right time when you're in air combat, you'll easily hit the renout zone, and you won't be able to land those hits, and it'll just be really frustrating. But there is some funny moments, such as getting your opponent stuck in the walls and the ground. It turns out to be really funny and hilarious. But I did find the renout system in the air combat to be really annoying and frustrating, because you could not stay in the air for too long sometimes, or you could at some points, but then something would go wrong. And let's say a good example would be if you accidentally drop your controller or your controller battery dies. Oh boy, that's not going to be a good sight to see. You better hope that you get a few extra seconds of battery life to get back onto the stage at the very least, and then pause the game, and then let your controller die, and then charge it up, and then get a different controller, continue using the controller, yet on the charger. That's how frustrating the air combat and renout systems can be at times. But when you're not on a renout stage, the air combat is just fun. But goddamn that plus ultra, man, oh my god. But yeah, the air combat and renout systems could have been worked on a lot more. They could have had it balanced and equal. I really wish that they could have done that, but they didn't. And here's another person that I had gone against in online mode. Shout out to them as well. But I had also gone against Batsmat247 twice actually, which I don't know how that happened. But yeah. But the online mode was pretty good. I do think that the fact that I went against the same person twice, that was a little weird. But it only happened once, so I guess it's alright. But two of the players I fought against were Bakugo. They were playing as the same character, except with different outfits for him. But basically what the online mode was, I thought it was pretty fun and enjoyable. So when it comes to My Hero Academia, One's Justice, I feel like this game has a lot of pros but some cons. I feel like this game's combat was really good. I feel like the graphics were really nice. It had some really vibrant colors, as well as some unique characters that mixed gameplay into the combat, and I found it to be really well done. Each of their own details mixed with the gameplay added some really cool features, such as Frobby being able to use her tongue when she's in sidekick mode to grab you away from a bad situation and pull you out in order to save you and give you more time to think about what to do next in order to win. Or Mr. Aizawa actually using his scarf or whatever to grab the opponent and then lock him in to where they can't even use their quirk, because that way what his quirk is, he just has to look at them in order to basically, he has to make eye contact with them and then activate his quirk to where they can't use their quirk. And then he can perform some good hits on that, or he can just grab them with his scarf and then launch them in the air and then smash them into a wall. That's what Aizawa could do, and I like those tiny little details that they have for some of the characters. And basically, characters never felt like they were a clone of another. Like, literally you feel like you were playing as that character alone, not a clone or some cousin or something. You felt like you were playing as that character and no one else. However, the story mode could have been a little bit better. They could have had some real cutscenes, not some still images talking to each other. And the arcade mode could have had a little bit more rounds to play, as well as a bonus round if you got really good at the game and you had good characters, or like you were really good at some of the characters and you had really good skills, and you would fight a really strong opponent in the bonus round. And let's say if more characters were in the game, let's say Spinner or let's say Seto, let's say one of those two characters were in the game, and the bonus round will be featuring them, and if you defeat them, you get that character, and you get some other bonus rewards that will be really good and high grade rewards. But they didn't have that in this game, and I wish they did, but they didn't. But the air combat as well as the arena systems could have been more balanced, and they could have been easier to maneuver, but they weren't. But what I think makes up for all that is the mission mode. It does make up for some of the stuff and adds more content to the game, as well as the character customization and profile customization. And the online mode, I found that to be really stable, and I had really no problems with the online mode, besides from a few hiccups. But yeah. So this has been my My Hero Academia Once Justice review by me, Wolfdog107. Hope you guys enjoyed. 7 out of 10. Wolfdog out.